and not about the leadership in Washington, D.C. I think that we spend a great deal of time focusing on the leadership of other individuals. And as a result of doing so, we're missing incredible and amazing leadership opportunities as individuals and as a collective. So we really appreciate the support to be able to continue to do the work that this organization has done for over 97 years. We need it. And the way in which America has responded to this leadership crisis indicates that you see value in what it is that we do. But the truth of the matter is that we as an organization know that the power to create, to implement, and to maintain changes lies within each and every one of us. We are responsible for what our leadership does and does not produce. Individuals who want to make sure that we live in an environment and in a community where the rule of day is not punitive justice, as Heather talked about, but restorative justice. I had the pleasure of actually visiting Bread and Circus today, where the owners indicated that they hire people who have been in conflict with the criminal justice system because they believe in the humanity of people. They believe that individuals should not be defined by the worst thing that they've ever done. Brian Stevenson says, each of us are greater than the worst thing we've ever done. And that is so true. We know that individuals who live in black and brown communities and impoverished communities are over-policed, that behaviors are hyper-criminalized. We know that we've engaged in behavior that could be deemed criminal if there was an overwhelming police presence in your neighborhood, in your community. In South Dakota, they are actually forcing catheterization to determine whether or not somebody consumed and ingested drugs in an effort to improve public safety. So I'm so much safer because the police officer on the beat located someone who was in the car with someone, and they saw some paraphernalia, and there was no evidence of anything else. So what I need to do is remove both of you from the vehicle. And if you don't agree to actually peeing in a cup or having your blood drawn, we're going to catheterize you. And this was done to a 3-year-old. And we are so appreciative to see the possibility of your leadership. What can we do? We can literally do whatever it is that we want if we double down, if we are sincere, if we see the threat as just that, a threat, and then make a determination about what we want to actually be in place. All of you know it, which is why all of you are part of the ACLU. And I imagine tonight that you thought that there probably would be more remarks about Trump and his leadership or lack thereof, or the horrible quality of it. But tonight, I ask you to examine your own leadership, examine your collective leadership, and then make a determination as to what's possible, and then to set a mark, and then to move towards it. I promise you that the ACLU will continue to do this work. With your support, we can get so much more done in such an amount of time that we will begin to feel good about the country in which we live in. There will be more hope. There will be more encouragement. And I stand here delighted tonight, knowing that we have the capacity to win. We have the capacity to restore broken communities and broken people. We have the capacity to love and to change people's lives as a result of them being exposed to that love. But because we are the ACLU and you are ACLU supporters, we have to move beyond capacity. You have a leadership responsibility, just as I have a leadership responsibility. And it is my hope, it is my prayer, that you will continue to support the ACLU and you will examine what your leadership is and is not producing, and then reach out and talk about your vision for your life, your vision for your family's lives, your vision for your community, your vision for this country. and then be bold, brave, daring, courageous enough, or just piss the hell off enough to actually begin to take a step in that direction. I bear witness that if you can dream, if you can hope, if you can desire, and if you take a step, something ends up happening. It's called momentum. And then you determine what your pace will be. And when you do that, the environment and the change that you want becomes a reality in your life, and in the lives of your community, and in the lives of your family members. So the ACLU is counting on your continued support, but we need your individual leadership to rise to the occasion. And we don't want to just be the resistance anymore. We don't want to just defend anymore. We want to determine how we want this world to be, and we want to proactively work towards it. So many of you are already doing such amazing work. So many of you. The organizing of a women's march. Because women are still not treated equal. And people standing with women to make sure that equality happens. We don't have to wait on anybody. We are who we've been waiting for. We need to be bold. We need to be courageous. We need to have a little bit of Donald Trump in us. A little bit. Say what you'll say about the quality of his leadership. He shows up knowing what he wants to do, and he takes steps and measures towards it. So we can be critical of his leadership, but we need to measure his against ours, and what his leadership is producing, and what our individual collective leadership is or is not producing. I thank each and every one of you for everything that you've already done to advance civil liberty and freedom in America. I rely on each and every one of you to continue to examine your leadership, look for opportunities to facilitate change, build community, and win, and make our country a country that we all love being a part of. Every man, woman, child, or however an individual identifies. Thank you. Have an amazing evening. Please eat all the food that you would like. I really appreciate you listening to my comments. Have an amazing evening.